When I say curry leaves or Kadi Patta, what comes to your mind? Basically, fragrance, aroma. Any or most of the dishes that we cook at home does contain curry leaves, and this is what adds flavor as well as fragrance to the food that we cook. Can you imagine dal without giving a tarka of curry leaves, curry patta? It would be so bland, so empty. Like unless or until you have that kadi patta ka tadka in the dal, you wouldn't really, get the fragrance, the aroma out from the dal when you have it. So basically, tempering food items with kadi patta is another way to increase the aroma of the food that we cook. Now, this is all that I have shared of what loveliness does curry leaves or curry patta add to our food. However, this important ingredient has a specific storage condition. Unless or until it is stored in the right way, it will not last you for longer. Say, suppose you just get some curry leaves and just keep them in a box in an airtight container or open container and keep them in the fridge. Let me tell you, this is not going to last you for more than 15 to 20 days. I doubt even it's going to come for that many days. However, if you store them in a right way, this could last you for a month or two. I will share with you different kind of methods on how you can store curry leaves. So stay with me, and in case if you find this helpful, please do share this video with your friends and do leave your comments, because I would be very happy to read the comments from you all. So, the first method that I would like to share of storing the curry leaves would be by um, firstly, when you get the curry leaves, ensure that you have separated it from the stem, the stalk, and then wash it. Once you have washed these curry leaves, spread it over a paper, or if you all are not comfortable using a paper, you all can spread it on a towel or a cotton cloth, anything which will absorb the water from the curry leaves because you have washed them. And then what you could do is you can dab it with another cloth or a towel from top. So in this way you will let it dry at room temperature, and once you see that the curry leaves have dried, place them, fold it in a tissue paper or in a cloth. You could use a hanky instead. Fold it in a hanky, place it in an airtight container, or you could place it in Ziploc bags. Now, some of them prefer to leave the bag little open, the Ziploc bags, because in this way, if there is any moisture that is leaving from the curry leaves and it's pulled off by the tissue paper or by the cloth, it will dry off because of the circulation of air. The second method is similar to the one that I mentioned earlier. However, in this method you would store your curry leaves in a glass jar or a glass container. This is a very good way of storing the curry leaves. However, you have to ensure that you put a tissue paper into the glass jar or the glass container that you're going to keep the curry leaves in, so that it would retain the color as well as the aroma that it has. This should last you for a month. So this is method number 2. Now say suppose if you don't have access to the fridge or there is no space in the fridge to keep the curry leaves. What you could do is retain them in the stock. Do not remove them from their stock. Retain them as it is and keep them immersed in water. So maybe you could fill a bottle of water and tie it in a bunch and keep it soaked in the bottle of water. This is one way that you could store it outside the fridge. This should last you only for about a week. Alternatively, if you do not want to store it in the water because it is not really ideal enough in some places to keep water storage open, what you could do is you could grease the leaves either by greasing your hands first and then patting it over the leaves, or you could just spread with something. You could spread uh, oil over the leaves and leave it in a airtight container. This you could keep it outside. In this method, though it will last you for 1 week, the curry leaves will be as good as fresh and the color will not change. Another way you can store the Kadi Patta would be by washing the curry leaves, exactly, washing them, patting them dry like what we did in method 1, and after that covering them in the same way with a tissue paper. Ensure that it's a tissue paper and not a cloth. This is my advice, because then you will store it in a ziploc bag in the freezer. This should last you for about 2 to 3 months, because you're freezing it. However, I cannot guarantee you about the taste or the aroma that it would leave, because in when you freeze certain vegetables, it would leave the color, or the taste would eventually have a little of change. So this I cannot guarantee. However, if it is something which you are going to consume in a month's time, I think so it's a very good thing to keep it in the freezer. The last and final way, which I feel is very ideal enough for everybody to use, you can have it in dry form, wet form, whatever is comfortable with you. Now, in this method, again, you use the same method of one. Separate off the curry leaves from the stalk, wash it, pat it dry, and then spread it in a plate or a big container. You know, spread it, have it covered with a cloth. Either you can let it dry inside your house itself under room temperature, or you can keep it outside in sunlight. Leave it in sunlight and let it dry for good 2 to 3 days. Once it is dried for 2 to 3 days, this will become nice and crispy, the leaves. Now, you all would say that the curry leaves might not give the aroma, or might not be the same that it is when it's fresh. But trust me, whenever you want to use the curry leaves, once it's dried, it is going to give you the same exact aroma what it would give you when you use the fresh leaves. And alternatively, if you want to store it outside, you can either keep it in the same crispy leaf way, or you could grind these leaves or crush it into powder. Say, in case if you need to grind it with the masalas, you can use it in a powder form. Or these leaves, you can again store it in a ziploc bag or a container and keep it in your fridge. So the dry method is a very good way to preserve it for months. In case if you are someone who do not get a chance to go every month to buy your stuff, buy your groceries, or cannot go every time out to buy the curry leaves, the Kadi Patta, this is a very good way. The dry way is the best way to preserve it for longer time. Let me tell you, I was not aware of the dry method till this was suggested by my aunt. So basically, when you do not have access to the fridge and you want to store things for longer, especially Kadi Patta, I'm not talking about other stuff, this method really came in hand. So this method really came handy for us. So hope the method that I have shared would come in use to you all. If you all do like it, do share it with others, so there will be others who would benefit from this. And also, if you all like it, please do not forget to pass your comments. Because of your comments, I would be encouraged to put up more videos so I could help many others out there. So hope you like my video, and do let me know what you have to say about it. Also, please share it with your friends if it's useful. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, it's a kind request. Please subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon that you see besides it to get updates on all my upcoming videos, so you will not miss on any of my videos or hacks that I share. I'll see you in another episode of How.